Let's start off with a percentage, simple one, 30%. Not a goal you ever want to get on the quiz. 30%. To change a percentage back into a decimal, you must always, always, always divide by 100. So 30% becomes 0.30, which of course is the same thing as 0.3. If you were required to change that into a fraction, like I said before, you should always work with your decimals. We have a 3 in the tenths position. So to change that into a fraction, it becomes 3 over the place value of 10. 3/10 is the equivalent to 0.3 as a decimal, and it's equivalent to 30% as a percentage. If your second question was, say, 15.5%, and you had to change into a fraction, it's always recommended that you go from the starting percentage into the decimal first. Everything has to go through the decimal. So you divide by 100. 15.5 divided by 100 is going to equal 0.155. Then you're going to change the 0.155 into a fraction by examining what digit is in the last position. What's the last position called? It's called the tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So to change it into a fraction, it becomes 155 over 1,000. Then you can reduce, either using your magical button or using your brains. Divide them both by 5. 5 goes into 1,000 200 times. And 5 goes into 155 31 times. So 31 over 200, you check that, take 31 divided by 200, it's going to give you 0.155, which you could then multiply by 100 to give you 15.5%. What if your percentage is really small? This application would be in life, interest on a bank account. Not quite this low, but pretty damn low. 0.22%. You want to change that into a fraction ultimately, you would change to a decimal first. The rule still applies. 30%, 20%, 80%, whatever, you need to divide by 100. Dividing 0.22 by 100 means you need to divide by 100. You're going to end up with 2 zeros in the front. You're going to end up with 0.0022 as a decimal. To convert that into a fraction, your last place, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So 22 over 10,000, which you could then proceed to reduce. They're both even. 2 goes into 22, 11. 2 goes into 10,000, leaving with 5,000. And 11 divided by 5,000 will take you back up to 0.0022, which is the same thing as 0.22%. A couple more examples. If you had growth, say, of 151% in your business is on fire. Percentages of decimals, same rule every time, divide by 100. That's the same thing as saying 1.51 as a decimal. To change that into a fraction, it's a whole number 1 and 51 over 100ths. And that is already reduced, so that's your final answer. 1 and 51 over 100. Or, of course, you could write it as improper but less meaning, 151 over 100. That's still reduced, but not mixed. Oh, that's just a mess. 151 over 100. This is a better answer when it has more value. Okay, the last question we're going to do together is kind of a hard one, sort of. Say the rate you were going to receive for your mortgage or something was 4 3/8%. And you want to change that into a fraction. This current number is not in fraction format. It is a percentage. The first thing you want to do is change it from a fractional percentage to a decimal percentage. 3 divided by 8 gives you 0.375. So 4.375, that is still a percentage. You've done nothing to get away from the percent operation. To change from a percent to a decimal, you then divide by 100. When you divide by 100, the decimal goes 2 places to the left. So 0.04375. Now that is your decimal value. To convert that into a fraction, you have tenths, hundredths, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000ths. So 4,375 over 100,000. And some of your calculators are going to crap the bed here and they're not going to work. If they don't work, you have to do it manually. Divide both top and bottom, say, by 25. And break it down to smaller numbers, break it down to smaller numbers. The short answer to the long reduction is you're going to get 4,000 in the bottom, 175 on the top for like a middle step, ultimately getting you down to 7 over 160. So be careful with your reduction. Some calculators will not allow you to use this directly. You have to use your head to get down to a smaller number before you can use it to reduce. Good luck with your practice.